This is Ubaid on behalf of V Electronics, and in this video, we'll be talking about productive and allocative efficiency. All right, now when it comes to efficiency in general, it has to do with reducing waste. Okay, and productive efficient. Okay, when it comes to productive efficiency deals with minimizing waste as well. Okay, so let me write this down over here. So productive efficiency, you have productive efficiency has to do with minimizing waste. This is minimizing waste. All right. So when it comes to productive efficiency, we can look at a production possibility frontier chart. Okay. So assuming this is your production possibility frontier chart or PPF. Okay. On the vertical axis, you have good A, and on the horizontal axis, you have good B. All right, so as you allocate your raw materials, resources, so on and so forth, from good A to good B to produce good B, okay, this is what the curve looks like. Okay, and then you have different points on this curve as you move along the curve. So let's say this is this one over here, this is B, this is C, this is D, okay, so on and so forth. So as you move along the curve, as you move towards good B, we know that you're allocating more resources towards good B, which means the opportunity cost of producing good B keeps growing, okay, because you're basically sacrificing, okay, the production of good A to produce good B. Okay, and that has to do with the law of opportunity cost. Now, when it comes to being productively efficient, okay, this production possibility frontier chart effectively shows what being productively efficient looks like. Okay, because as you allocate more resources and materials towards good B, you're not wasting any of those resources because you know that you're going to need all those resources that you're allocating away from good A to produce good B. Okay, and that's called minimizing waste. Okay, hence all these points over here, A, B, C, D, E, are productively efficient. Okay, however, if you were to take a point inside this curve, let's say this is point R, okay, this is not being productively efficient. Okay, at this point, you're wasting resources, you're wasting raw materials, as a result of which you may or may not be able to produce good B from the resources that you're allocating away from good A, from the raw materials that you are transferring towards the production of good B away from the production of good A. So that has to do with productive efficiency. Now, on the other side, you have something called allocative efficiency. Okay, this has to do with marginal benefit. And when I talk about marginal benefit, this has to do with marginal benefit to the society. Okay, so how much of a profit does a society make when you produce, okay, good B? Okay, so let's say if the production of good B increases or bumps the marginal benefit to the society, okay, then this production is allocatively efficient. All right, when you assign resources and raw materials towards the production of good B, you're being allocatively efficient. Okay, um, because the marginal cost or the cost of producing good B is less than the profit or the marginal benefit from producing good B for the society. Okay, so one such example would be externality. Okay, if we talk about pollution, for example, if the pollution produced by the production process, okay, if the pollution being produced by you producing good B is more than the profit that comes out of producing good B, then it's not being allocatively efficient. Okay, that's the opposite of being allocatively efficient. Okay, so that's basically being productively and allocatively efficient on a production possibilities frontier. Now, if you were to go ahead and graph this for a perfect competitor, okay, we know that for a perfect competitor, okay, you have supply and demand, which meet at the equilibrium point. And this equilibrium point, the price level at this equilibrium point becomes your price. All right, so this is your price over here. So price equals marginal revenue. So this is equal to MR, also equal to AR, or average revenue, okay, which is equal to PQ over Q equals P, or price. All right, so we know that at this point, okay, your marginal cost meets marginal revenue. Okay, so this is marginal revenue, this is marginal cost. And at the point of profit maximization, your marginal cost meets marginal revenue. And because this is a perfect competitor and the marginal cost of producing a good is equal to marginal revenue, okay, the perfect competitor is being productively and allocatively efficient. Okay, so this is allocative efficiency. Okay, because the marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue.